All right, Mississippi State, Arizona. We've got Arizona 10.5-point home favorites, or road favorites, I should say, 11. Now this game in Tempe, out in the desert. Interesting travel spot, Starkville to Tempe, Arizona. But Mississippi State's taking all the money. 7.5-point road favorites, now up to 11, 59.5 the total. Usually when I make bets early in the week, it's because I think I'm going to get the best of the number and good closing line value. That's not going to be the case for me here. And you got to be willing to admit when you misread the market. I misread this. I bet over 61 early Monday morning, and this total's gone down to 59. So I'm stuck with a bad number. It's one of the few that I haven't gotten the line move correct. Like I got in on Kansas and the over with West Virginia in that game way before the line move, but this one went against me here. I still think points could be scored. I like that Jayden de Laura offense that we saw from Arizona last week. That was supposed to be a very good San Diego State defense. Jayden de Laura is carving up the Aztecs. I mean, that was up and down the field. That was just destroying what was supposed to be a pretty solid defensive team. They had good balance in that offense. I think their skill position talent has gone up big time, Arizona, this season. And for them to play the way they did against San Diego State's defense, 38-20, and rack up the yardage they did. Jayden de Laura, magnificent. 299 passing yards, 4 touchdown passes, 1 interception. They had success running the football. DJ Williams was very good in that regard. How about the day for Jacob Cowing? 8 receptions, 152 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. The UTEP transfer, where he was a very big-time target for Gavin Hardison last year at UTEP. And look at the way he played last week with Jayden de Laura in that Arizona offense. Just very impressive. But I want to point something out. Before we get too excited about Arizona's performance, Mississippi State's a whole hell of a lot better than San Diego State. All right, this is going to be a much different challenge. Coming into the season, I probably had Mississippi State, I would say, a good, in terms of ahead of Arizona, a good probably 20 points almost, 18 to 20 points better than Arizona. And now all of a sudden, look, Arizona has a very impressive week 1 against San Diego State, and now Mississippi State's only laying, 11 now. So there's been an adjustment to how good Arizona looked. But the thing that concerns me is Arizona defensively was great last week, but their strength is the defensive line. Their strength is stopping the run, and they stopped the run. That's how you beat San Diego State. Burmeister couldn't do anything in the passing game. That's always how you're going to beat San Diego State. You stop them from running the football, you're going to beat them. And Arizona did that. And they have a good run defense. But last year, as much as I like where Jed Fish's team is headed, last year they could not defend the pass. They really couldn't. The secondary was a weak link for Arizona. They got shredded a lot of times in the passing game of opposing teams. And guess what they're going to face here? Pretty much exclusively Mississippi State throwing the football in the air raid under Mike Leach. Can they defend the pass? They couldn't last year. Are they improved enough where they can contain this air raid pass offense with Will Rogers, which just sliced and diced their way through Memphis last week in that big blowout win? That's the concern for me, which is why I bet this over, because I think Mississippi State will move the ball through the air. I think Arizona's much improved offense can do enough damage, yet the betting markets bet this thing under. And I don't agree with that. So I lean over. As far as the side goes, I was on Arizona last week. I loved Arizona last week. I think I want to see them stack up against Mississippi State before wanting to back them again here. Conor Mack, what do you think? Mississippi State, Arizona.
I'm with the air on the total. I think you got to look over in this one. I think Will Rogers, they'll do what they want. That's the one problem with Arizona. I just don't think they can, stop the pass. They didn't have to in the San Diego State game. But you mentioned de Laura. I loved him at Washington State, and he can really throw it. I mean, this kid's talented. You talked about Cowing and Singer had huge games. I think they'll make some plays. But if you liked Arizona, you missed the boat. You could have got 14.5, 14. This has dropped to 11. You still think there's value with the 10 points? Maybe here at home. Mississippi State was good on the road last year. But now they're laying numbers, kind of, big numbers like this on the road. So a little bit different. They're the better team. I just don't know if there are 2 touchdowns, cover this number on the road. But, yeah, should be a good one. One I'm probably going to stay off. I might get to the over in this. I'm going to look through it a little more.